What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Real Housewives of New Jersey review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously or literally, meaning my jokes and Jones. So if that works for you, let's get into this review. But before I begin, you guys, want to let you all know once again to all of my membership viewers that I disabled it for the time being because I got some stuff going on, but it will be back up at some point very soon. But I also have some behind the scenes tea. Remember on last week's episode, it was revealed this pizzagate between Louie and Teresa versus Joe. And on last week's video, I told you guys that I was leaning more towards Joe, who was the one that got played and scammed by Louie and Teresa. Well, Giorgio says came with some more receipts that make Teresa look kind of bad. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Looks like Teresa forgot to tell us a couple of pieces of information regarding this whole pizza business debacle where Louie allegedly lost out on $250K. Let's talk about it. So it was told to us that Louie invested $250,000 in this pizza business idea that Joe came up with. Now, it's important to know that Joe initially came up with this idea for him and Teresa to do as a tribute to their father, Nono, and they would call it Nono's Pizza, and it would be tasty and delicious. What better way to bring the family together than to start a family business? Well, Louie loved it so much, he was ready to go. So he decided, you know what, Joe? I'm going to purchase the pizza ovens. You leave that to me. And I'm sure there's something else you can pick up the tab on. But I'll at least get the order started and we'll get those signed, sealed, and delivered. Great. So Joe lets Louie know, well, Melissa's nephew has connections in China with manufacturers, so we'll go through him. So that's what they did. Louie put up $105,000 to purchase pizza ovens. Shout out to your moms are watching who got the Gorga side of the Pizzagate story. But this is an email, okay, where it displays how much the invoice amount was for the pizza ovens that Louie offered to purchase, okay? So 104, just shy of 105K. Now, Louie didn't cut any check to Joe Gorga at all. He cut a check for 105 or 104,000 and some change to Melissa's nephew because, as I mentioned, he has the connections with manufacturers in China. Now, where it goes south is when Teresa allegedly gets involved and wants to change the name to Skinny Italian or Skinny Pizza, but Joe obviously wanted to keep their father's name in it because that was the whole point of starting this business, was to be a tribute to their father, Nono. But Teresa, I guess, didn't like that idea, so she went behind Joe's back, allegedly, had a photo shoot with her girls, and intended to use the image on the pizza kit boxes. Again, leaving Joe out of it, never discussed any of that with him. So Joe confronts them both, Louie and Teresa. It does not go well. Then they basically allegedly ignore him. Then they call him back and say, you know what? It was your original idea, Joe, so we'll give you 5% of the business. Joe says, absolutely not. I should be 50-50. This is my idea. Teresa's lawyer calls Joe back a little while later and says, okay, we'll give you 10%. Joe says, no, you guys can keep the business. I don't want nothing to do with it. So that's where they left it. Now, in my opinion, Joe was kind of pushed out of this idea, and Louie put the money up for the ovens. So Joe didn't get any of his money, and he got what he paid for, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, there you have it. I told you. Y'all gonna start listening to me. I mean, I be knowing. Now, I did take a screenshot of the email that was sent to whoever this TikToker was that he got this information from. And it says subject forward pizza ovens update. Then you see Joe's name, which refers to Joe Gorga. It says see below invoice amount was $104,802.50 paid in full. See info below for price per oven and how many ovens were ordered. So there were each oven was $46.25 a piece, and they got 2,266 ovens. Oh, wow. Okay. So I told y'all last week that it seemed to me like Joe was pushed out of the situation. And what I'm guessing that will happen as the season, progresses is that we'll continue to get more and more information about said Pizzagate as the season goes on. Child, these folks are a mess. Woo! I almost dropped my water. Mm, 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 mm. But let's get into tonight's review. So Dolores and Paulie sit down and have a conversation. They talk about how his heart surgery went really well. He's feeling so much better. He ready to bend that thing over and get it cracking. Okay, I'm saying he want to, pull up to her bumper, baby, with his long black limousine. Like he want that. He been down for a minute now. It's time for the jump off. And Dolores like, Paulie, stop, Paulie. And I'm like, girl, you better give Paulie what he want. Paulie got a coin. And Paulie a nice looking little beefy man. So then they talk about how Frank is really having a hard time dealing with the fact that they're not as close as they used to be. And he was like, he need to grow up. He got to get over it. He got a girlfriend that adores him and stuff, which is all true. But Dolores was quick to point out, like, you have a really good, close relationship with your ex, too. And he was like, but we don't talk on the phone every day. She ain't calling me 50 times a day and this, that, and the third. And in her confessional, she was like, she do. So it seems like, it ain't all kosher on that side either. Like Dolores don't like the fact that he communicate with the ex as much as he does as well. So keep that in mind. And she basically tries to get him to understand the dynamics of her and Frank's relationship. Is not that Frank want to be back with her. It's just that they have been close. Like they literally were best friends. They've done everything with each other for the last 20 something years. And to go from being a permanent fixture in somebody's life for 20 something years to then it just being cut off, that is a big adjustment. And I know it got to be an adjustment for her as well. So hopefully they can figure this whole situation out, child. But she says that she is going to talk to Frank one-on-one about the whole predicament. So then we go to Rachel's house, and she talks to her husband about them possibly having another child. They already got 2 toddlers, and then his oldest son, Jaden, which she takes care of as well, and is basically his mother. And they talk about her adopting Jaden because that's something that she's been wanting to do for quite some time. And he was like, we'll contact a lawyer about it, but I'm pretty sure we'll have to then contact his biological mother. And her husband was like, I don't really want to deal with all of that. Like, that relationship, from what we learned tonight, was pretty toxic. And that's the reason why he got full custody of Jaden. And Rachel was like, she's had limited contacts with the mama, but it was like really awkward and weird because she's telling his biological mother like what he's doing in school, what he likes, and like, you're his mother and you don't know any of these things, and I'm the one here taking care of your child. I think it's very commendable, and I love the fact that Rachel loves Jaden as much as she does, and he wants it to happen as well. So hopefully they'll be able to figure this whole situation out and get victory, if you know what I mean. But they're going to go talk to a lawyer about this whole situation. After that, Dolores and Jen meet up to have a conversation about where their friendship went wrong. And Jennifer in her confessional was like, I thought since she'd gone through an infidelity herself, she'd be the first person to say, Margaret, how could you? And it was more like, you did things too. I don't receive friends like that. I just don't. And I'm like, Jen, once again, you refuse to take accountability for anything that you do. None of this would have kicked off. And I'm tired of saying it. If you would have never effed with that lady your first season, you was going after her talking about how she cheated on her husband. You did that, I don't know how many times, always trying to blast her about having an extramarital affair when you yourself had gone through the same thing. So if you wouldn't have never kicked it off, you wouldn't have got point blank and the period. So get over yourself, girl. Please. I'm sick of you. Oh my God. Remember when Margaret told her lips were like a baboon's ass? Woo! That was funny to me. So, where was I at? Jen was like, the way you spoke bad about me with Marge bothered me. And Dolores was like, you ripped into me. And let's not forget, especially at the reunion, Jen had lost her mind coming at Dolores like that, like Dolores wouldn't backhand her. And Dolores at this point was like, let's just call a truce. And I promise, to watch how I speak, to you and the things that I say moving forward. And Jen promises the same. Do I think that this truce is going to last? Absolutely not. Because Jen ain't loyal to nobody but Teresa. And I'm wondering, is there going to come a day where those two go head to head? I really want to know. So Jen then tells Dolores that she wants to invite the girls to do a Turkish cup night, but she doesn't want to have it at her house because she don't want Marge in her house. And I'm like, girl, Marge don't want to be in that mausoleum. Girl, don't nobody want to be in that furniture factory. You call her home, that ugly house of yours. Child, please. So then we see Melissa and Joe at their new house, which is going through renovations at the time. It's done now. And I watched this channel on, I think it's TikTok, where they was breaking down like the design and stuff of Joe and Melissa's house and how horribly it was done. And it really was. It was horribly done. Like, oh my God. It was like they had a crackhead down the street put that house together and gave him a crack rock and some Popeyes or either some Church's chicken to do it, child. But blessings to them. So Melissa says that, Margaret told her after they left that Louie came back just boo-hoo crying. And they showed a flashback of this man fake crying. I just don't understand why you just can't get along. I called my sister right now because I just don't like it. Girl, not one tear coming out that man eye. And why would you be crying over them getting into it when you have seen them at this point fight 50 million times? Like, this man is such an actress. If you don't give him an Academy Award for Best Actress in a Drama Series, like, I cannot stand Louie Red Lobster looking self. So Joe was like, man, he was like, all that kumbaya stuff is fake. That's why it came out in the press, things about Dina. And they flash back to Jackie saying, did you see on the blogs that Dina isn't coming to the wedding and that Louie got into it and got into a fight with Dina's husband? And Joe in his confessional was like, Dina's husband, David, called me because, we cool. And it was Pizzagate Part 2. And it's effed up another relationship in Teresa's life. Now, when it came out last year that Dina was no longer a part of the wedding, everybody was like, what happened? And Teresa and Dina were mums the word about it. But we all was wondering, like, why all of a sudden she just backed out of the wedding like weeks before, like literally weeks before. And now we're getting the tea on what actually happened between the two. And I believe it 100%. Louie is a schemer and a scammer. Child, that man is a schemer and a scammer, and the money that Teresa got that she has rebuilt for herself over the past couple of years, he gonna get you for it, girl. He gonna get you and get you good for it. And you gonna be putting your tail in between your legs trying to crawl back to your brother after it's done. This man is gaslighting her, honey. She is sleeping next to the enemy. That man is coming into her life and isolating her from the little bit of family that she do got. Dina and her weathered I don't know how many storms throughout the years. They never had no problems. Had each other's back faithfully throughout the years. And we all know that Dina would not have missed that girl's wedding for nothing if it wasn't something dead serious. So I 100% believe that Louie F that girl husband over, and that's why they fell out and not friends again, because Teresa gonna choose her man over anybody, and that's her downfall. She ain't learned nothing from when she was married to Joe Giudice. She ain't learned nothing. And this time, last time you went to jail running in behind a man and trusting him blindly and forsaking family and friends. This time you're gonna go broke, because he gonna get you. And remember, like I said, when he was on Watch What Happens Live a few months back, it was revealed that he's now in a field where he's doing literally the same things that Jen Shaw was doing. Girl, okay. So, we then go to Danielle on the phone with Teresa and telling Teresa that Rachel was being a catty, snotty little biatch and that she made her look like the bad guy. If this ain't Teresa 2.0, oh my God. Girl, you made yourself look bad. You were insinuating that Margaret is basically coming to get you, coming at you once again. That she does have an arse. Like, you knew what you was saying, you knew what you was doing. It was on national television. Y'all was being filmed. Like, stop trying to play the victim. You mad because Rachel didn't bite and went back and told. Same way you run back and tell Teresa and Jennifer stuff. She ain't do nothing that you have not done since filming for this show. I do not like Danielle anymore. Danielle, like I said from the beginning, is coming for Teresa's crown, and Teresa's too dumb to realize it. She has your same storyline. And mark my words, next season, that brother and that wife gonna be on her. And like I said, it's gonna be like the movie All About Eve. Teresa, you better watch it, because Danielle coming for your crown, honey. She is literally mimicking you. That's what you needed to been worried about this season, was this new chick. That's who you needed to been sizing up like, oh, okay. But you so busy trying to get allies on your side that you don't even realize she coming. She coming for you. Mark my words. And I can't wait to prove y'all that I'm right. So she then goes on to say that there's a lot more that she need to get off her chest. I'm like, well, please get it off, because I'm so sick and tired of you running every time somebody say something to you. You want to act so big and bad. Okay, let's show us finally how big and bad you are. So it's the day of the coffee cup event at Paulie's house, and the decor was everything. Loved it. Stellar. So all the ladies come over, and they are just blown away by Paulie's house. Like, they act like they ain't never seen a modern style house before, because everybody else live in these gaudy country club looking houses out in the sticks. Everybody was just going crazy over this man's house. And I'm like, yeah, he got a really nice house. Y'all can have one too if y'all stop being country. So Jen tells the ladies that her and Dolores have some news. And Dolores was like, Teresa said while she was meditating about her wedding that she pictured Jen and I being in a wedding. And Jen was like, so we're bridesmaids. Girl, you know she said it like that to really dig it into Melissa. So Melissa's standing there looking like, I know you lying. I know you lying. Like, Teresa is a calculated heifer, honey. So Melissa was like, you weren't even invited to her engagement party. She says this to Dolores. And Dolores was like, I mean, I don't care though. Yes, you did, because it hurt your feelings when you found out about it and that you wasn't invited. Let's not play these games. I will never forget that season when she found out about the engagement party and that she wasn't invited, and her feelings were hurt. And the reason why it went down that way is because Teresa was feeling some type of way because Dolores had stood up for herself and confronted her and told her she was wrong about something. And that's why she started icing Dolores out. Come on, people. Like, we're not about to play these games. So a producer asked Dolores in her confessional, do you think Dina being at the engagement party was why you weren't invited? And she was like, I'm not talking about Dina ever. Girl, okay, you ain't got to talk about Dina, but keep it real. A spade is a spade. That is why you weren't invited, and because Teresa had iced you out and was teaching you a lesson. Girl, stop. So Melissa in her confession was like, Dolores wasn't invited to the engagement party because Dina was there. Louie and Dina's man get into it over business. These two are no longer friends. And all of a sudden, it's like, Dolores, I was meditating. So convenient, that meditating moment. And I'm like, exactly, girl, you weren't meditating about nothing. You needed another bridesmaid. The dress was probably already bought. The makeup artist and stuff was probably already paid, and now you decide that you want to have Dolores in the wedding. And Dolores, you a fool, because ain't no way in hell I would have been in that wedding. You not going to choose me as a backup plan for the next chick that you obviously would choose over me when it all breaks down and boils down to it. And see, I don't play them type of friendship games. Okay, y'all don't get into it, but we are grown enough that y'all could be in the same room with each other and just not acknowledge each other and be there for me. So it wouldn't have been no, oh, since Dina coming, I don't invite you. And now since Dina and me done fell out, I'm going to ask you to be in my wedding. and you gonna say, yeah, girl, you's a fool. Like, Dolores want to act like she's so tough and hard, but you just as weak as the rest of them, like really weak. And I would have been like, girl, no, I'll be there, but no, absolutely not. You can have that, because please believe Teresa wouldn't have been in your wedding if you wouldn't ask her off the rip. She would have been like, no, and then probably wouldn't have even came. Stop it. So then Dolores tells the girls that she wants to take them to Ireland, and while they're there, celebrate Teresa's bachelorette. So all the girls are super excited about this. The coffee cup reader lady comes out and gets to reading everybody's stuff. And it was so fixed. It was so obvious it was fixed, because everything that was going on in the ladies' lives that they talked about on the show is exactly what she was telling them. And it was really revealed that the whole thing was fixed when it got to Margaret, and she telling Margaret that she'd fallen out with a friend with the letter L, and they grew up together, and the girl stabbed her in the back. And oh my God, it's like, Jennifer, you couldn't have had this lady fake no better than that. And so at some point, Margaret was like, did Jennifer speak to you before this? And she was like, no, whatever. But it was so obvious. Like, Jennifer, go worry about fixing your nose and let her. So, Jackie then was like, no, I'm sorry. The coffee cup lady then says to Danielle there's conflict between her and her brother, and one day the anger he has will go away, and that there was a wedding and she wasn't in it. Girl, you ain't Jesus, Lazarus, and the Latter-day Saints. Girl, get out of here with this foolishness. So Danielle was like, yeah, I hope that it's really hard because it's my brother. Oh, God. So Jackie was like, I hope that happens for you. And Danielle was like, do you? Do you? So Jackie was like, I do. And she was like, it just seemed like there was something missing from the story. And even Jen Fuda was like, I didn't understand it. We all don't understand it. That's why they building it up this season. And we'll get the real true tea from the brother. I honestly feel like the brother, the sister, Danielle, all of them in on this together, child. Girl, it's so obvious. So, Danielle was like, then she focuses her attention on Rachel and was like, you took our conversation and made it seem like I was trying to sabotage Margaret. And Rachel was like, I wasn't trying to sabotage anybody. And Jen Fuda was like, if did Danielle say something that you did not say? She said, Danielle, did Rachel say something that you did not say? And she was like, we were coffee talking. Exactly. You said it. It ain't like the girl lied on you. Stand in it and stand on it. Like, girl, stop trying to blame everything on Rachel. So, Jen Fuda was like, okay, well, if I said some bad things about Jen Aiden, would you go back and tell her? And Danielle was like, I probably wouldn't. And Jen Aiden was like, she's not a starter or whatever. And Rachel looked at her like, okay, that was a shot at me. Okay. And I'm looking at Danielle when she told me something I probably wouldn't. Like, girl, you's a dang on lie. You run and tell them everything that is being said. Just like Rachel runs and tell Margaret and them everything that's said. So stop trying to act like you on this moral high ground that's so bigger and better than what Rachel is doing. Y'all both playing the same game, but for different teams. Overall, I'm going to give tonight's episode a B+. It was good. It was entertaining. Next week, they'll be in Ireland. I'm ready for it. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you all. Oh, and don't forget this Saturday, I'll be dropping some videos, but my Love and Marriage Huntsville review probably won't be up until Sunday because I'm having an Easter soiree here at my house. I am going to vlog it. I can't wait for you to see it. It's going to be so much fun. I got decorators coming. It's the first time everybody will be seeing my home, so I'm super excited. And I'm going to do a tour of my living room for you guys to see, as well as my deck. Can't wait for you guys to see those finished rooms and areas. So be on the lookout for that as well. Okay, I love you. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell button. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.